Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. This video I feel like is very long awaited. I always put it off. I always feel like there's never a right time to film it. It is currently almost 3 p.m. Sunday the 15th of January. I've just finished up a little bit of work and I thought, do you know what, I'm just gonna go for it because I've also just come off my period, and I also basically wanted to wait a little bit until I filmed this video after I did have my coil removed, just so that I could kind of give myself a few months, yeah, to just kind of feel it out, see how I am, and then kind of film this video for you guys. I've got a little milkshake, coffee and chocolate. I knew this would be a messy start. I've got some notes. So if you are new to this channel, welcome, and obviously if you have been here a while, you will also know that I have suffered with endometriosis and polycystic ovaries. I got diagnosed in 2017 and I had my laparoscopy, I'm going to put the word here, operation, which was to remove my endometriosis. I'm not going to go into, in this video today, kind of like how I got diagnosed and everything, because I do also have another video which is quite detailed. It's quite a few years ago now. I think I was pretty emotional in it, because it is, well, at the time I didn't even know what endometriosis is, and you know, it is quite debilitating. Yeah, I was obviously just never really spoken about it with you guys before. I don't really speak about my personal life, hardly at all, so I think that was probably one of the first things that actually like opened up about properly, and I was just super emotional. I do still get quite emotional when I speak about it, just because so many women who suffer from it, 1 in 10 women, I actually think that statistic is now higher, do suffer from it, and everyone will tell you it's obviously different for everyone, but yeah, it's definitely something which has a huge effect on your day-to-day life. But yes, if you guys want to watch that video, how I got diagnosed, how I went through it all, etc., yeah, please do have a look there. And also, if you are suffering this, please go and see your doctor, and make sure you are kind of seeking help, speaking to various people, go to a gynecologist, and anything in general, if with your health, always seek help, and just don't put it off, because that's what I did for ages and I really regret putting it off. Like, obviously I would, so please don't put it off. If you feel like there is something wrong with your health, please go and see someone about it. Also, Endometriosis UK is an incredible charity I've worked with in the past, and they have so much incredible information on it, and I really urge you guys to go and check them out for more detail on the illness. And obviously today I'm just simply sharing my experience. I'm not a doctor, this is not me saying that this is what you guys should go and do, or you know, anything like that. It's just me sharing my experience of endometriosis and kind of my health and different variables. So I had my operation, the endometriosis removed. I also did have a small fibroid, which I think was 1 to 2 centimeters long then, which wasn't actually removed. But anyway, my endometriosis was removed, and then I got a lot better as the years went on, but I also did really kind of focus on my health a lot more, my diet, which I wasn't doing so much at all. Previously I'd kind of, I guess I just kind of got into the gym. I was probably like, I was lifting quite heavy. I was just kind of eating, and I was just everything that I was consuming, I think I wasn't actually being honest and healthy with myself. And also with endometriosis, you get super tired, and that was something really big for me. And when I get really tired, I reach for shit and shit food, and sugar is one of the worst things you can have for endometriosis. And I just wasn't being like honest with myself. I was like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. I'm doing everything I can, and do you know what? I just actually wasn't. I was just reaching for shit all the time and eating terribly, which then alongside having endometriosis just was a catalyst for disaster. So after I had my operation, I was like, I cannot go through an operation like this and not do everything I can to try and make it better. So I definitely kind of started to be a lot more mindful in the way I was moving my body, what I was actually doing for myself and what I was putting in my body. I stopped drinking as much alcohol then. I was definitely kind of having more wholesome foods, trying to cut out sugar. Obviously, we're all human. We're obviously sometimes gonna, you know, eat shit and whatever, and I'm definitely a culprit for that. And yeah, I basically tried my best to be as healthy as I could. I started doing like more walking, a bit more Pilates, like yoga, and when I do weights, I don't go like super heavy. I haven't done for years. I mean, obviously everyone's super heavy is relevant to them, but for me, what my strength probably could be, I definitely don't lift as heavy as I do. It's just like a maintenance weight, because I just felt like it was a big strain on me, and also when you're lifting really heavy, it makes you really tired, and endometriosis, if you are already feeling really tired, you're lifting really heavy, it's just, again, like the combination for me just wasn't great. So yeah, I just kind of really focused on my form, doing the same kind of exercises, but yeah, just dropping the weight, upping the reps. I found that really helped me. Anyway, I said that I wasn't going to go into that part, but here we are. Steph is waffling, and I knew this video would be like this. That's just why I put it off for so long, because I really want it to be helpful. But I'm really terrible at storytelling and this situation. But I'm doing my best, so hopefully you guys, yeah, forgive me. So, had my operation, had the Marina coil put in. Really recommend. It was amazing for me. So now move on, 7 years. I do not know where that time went, because I was literally like, I feel like I should get my coil removed soon. You meant to get it out after 5 years. I was like, I feel like I've had it in for 4.5. And I was like, oh no, it's been 7. I needed to get it removed, and obviously after 5 years as well, it kind of wears off anyway. And to be honest with you, this last year, I feel like my hormones and stuff again have been playing up a little bit, and just not been feeling myself at all. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it out. It's time to get it out anyway. That is what I did at the end of 2022. I got my coil removed. Before I got my coil removed, and obviously I've had the Marina coil, I stopped bleeding. Prior to the Marina coil, I had the stint in my arm, which was for 3 years. So I haven't actually had bled or had a period for, obviously, with the Marina coil and anything like that, you still go through like a cycle, and the hormones, like my boobs would go like massive, but I just wouldn't bleed. I'd still feel like super tired and things like that, like you would with a period. I just wasn't bleeding. So yeah, I hadn't actually bled for like, I think I want to say 8 or 9 years, which is a very long time. So I was really nervous about, 1, going to check up on my endometriosis at this appointment, 2, getting my coil removed, 3, seeing what else was going on, because unfortunately I still do get pretty severe pains on the odd occasion, or quite regularly sometimes, in my stomach. And I can only describe it as, well, I've been physically sick from the pain, because it's been so painful. I've almost passed out from the pain. This is not to feel sorry for me, this is just, so many women go through this, but obviously if you are experiencing that kind of pain in your stomach, it is not normal. It is not just a really bad period, which is the most annoying, frustrating thing that someone can say. Oh, it's just a really bad, you're just having really bad period cramps. Like, I promise you now, I know the difference between period cramps and endometriosis and stabbing pains. It is extremely different. So was super nervous about getting it removed, and also just because when I actually got the coil put in, I was asleep, so I didn't experience that. And I feel like you just hear like horror stories of the coil and stuff like that. So I was quite nervous. Went to the doctors, they were so lovely, and went in to get my coil removed. He also at the start basically did an ultrasound just to check how the endometriosis is looking and just anything else. When I was sat in the, well, not sat there, you're literally let there like that. Is that a hole? Why do I always get holes in my socks? No, anyway, obviously sat there, you know, legs akimbo, and he's, you know, there, very professional, obviously. I have had a very unprofessional gynecologist, but that's a story for another time. But I'm telling you now, if you feel uncomfortable and if your gut is saying something, go with your gut and be like, I feel uncomfortable. Like, always. That's something I would say because, anyway, another story for another time. So he was like, oh, are you thinking about having children anytime soon? And I have sort of briefly spoken about whether I want children or not with you guys before. It's something like, you know, if it happens, it happens. I think obviously with endometriosis, there is that caution of it might be harder for you, etc. But I'm very much the case, like, if I want it to happen, it will happen. And either way, like, I'm happy. So I'm not kind of like stressing about something like that. But when he said it, my first thing I went, soon. Because the way he said it felt like, if you want babies, like, then there's going to be difficulties. So I kind of just said soon. Alex also came with me, who sat on the other side of the curtain. I literally was like, I can imagine Alex's face now being like, soon? What? But I said it because I felt like if I went, oh, not for ages, or like, I'm not sure, he might not say what he wanted to say. And he just said, okay, well, basically you have a 5 centimetre fibroid, which is sat on your bowel, which is, it's pretty fucking hefty. So yeah, I have that's my updated thing. I have a 5 centimetre fibroid, which is attached to my bowel, which is probably why I'm still having so much pain. And basically he asked me that, he's just said, because obviously if you were thinking of having a baby soon, then that fibroid would grow, and it would grow and kind of make, well, it would be very uncomfortable for you, and also for the child, obviously it would just be like less room. And if I wanted to give birth naturally, then the likelihood of that would be basically next to none, and I'd probably need like a cesarean or something like that, which, yeah, so there's that, which, you know, it's not the best news in the world, but also I'm glad that I'm aware, because I feel like with anything, if you don't know what the issue is, then you don't know how to solve it. So I will come back to the fibroid. So I'm gonna park fibroid, 5 centimetre fibroid here, and then go on to endometriosis. So he like kind of looked for that and stuff, and he just said, I can see where it was like burnt away in the operation that you had and stuff, but like your endo is basically very calm and basically not there. You can just see like the scarring in the tissue from where it's been like removed. So that was obviously incredible news, because yeah, I've definitely like tried to take care of myself a bit more, and yeah, I mean, it would be a real shitter if I was banged with your endo's horrendous again and you have a 5 centimetre fibroid. You know, I would have been very upset. So that was incredible news, and you know, I really do think that your health, when I say diet, I don't mean like your don't eat, or like don't eat this, don't eat that. It's actually what you can add into your life and your overall like health, like your like whole foods, you know, try and cut out, you know, super processed, or, you know, I haven't had red meat now for like, I think 9 years. I have, you know, I have more like fish and like vegetables. I just try to avoid anything like super processed, like super sugary. When I do have sugar, I have it in like I mean, this probably isn't actually very good, is it? But I have like cake and things which are more homemade and wholesome, rather than like pure shit, because that just irritates the stomach. Yeah, with endo, like I really truly do think that you can do so much within yourself to try and combat it and help, but please do go and seek professional advice for that, as I said, and there's kind of like trial and error with it as well, because, you know, for one person endometriosis, they might say they have like, you know, a bit of a lower carb diet, high protein, that really works for them. Someone else might say, no, do you know what? For me, like lower protein, but like the general drift of women with endo, I am generalization, please don't come for me. This is just, again, it's about you trying what works for you. But like a lower carb diet, and when I say that, I don't mean like don't have carbs, I mean like what kind of carbs are you having? So like, you know, make sure it's the good carbs. So like sweet potato, you know, potatoes are fine as well, but like, you know, not covered in butter, and like rice, and just kind of making sure that when you're having carbs, it's like they're not super processed. And I mean, obviously carbs are in vegetables and everything, etc, etc, but and I do definitely think that having a higher protein diet is like, that's something that I do feel like has helped me. Although this kind of the last sort of 4 months, yeah, my diet has definitely not been good in this year. It's been absolutely horrendous actually. Yeah, because I've not been well, and I've just been eating like, I mean, I've basically said don't eat loads of processed food. That's basically what I've been doing. It's not good. My stomach's been in a lot of pain. Anyway, so that's incredible news about my endo. But obviously I am still getting a lot of pain, but that is, I think, to do with my fibroid. So obviously when I have sex, not every time, but most times, I still get excruciating pain, like when I orgasm, even when I'm just getting like remotely, you know, in the mood. I feel like this kind of like sense of, oh, I can't describe it. But anyway, and then when you do come, it feels like sometimes like stabbing in your bum, like just, honestly, the pain is horrific. But it kind of makes sense because I literally have this thing in my, yeah, on my bowel. Obviously sometimes when I go to the loo and like with certain things I eat, I get like terrible, terrible pains. Again, it makes sense. So I'm going to have I think I'm going to have basically another operation similar to the last one I had. So I'm going to have keyhole. I'm not sure when I'm going to have it, but I want to have it as soon as I possibly can. And I'm going to get that removed again, hopefully, touch wood. I think the reason that they didn't remove it before, I have no idea why they didn't remove it before. Obviously it was a lot smaller, and I think, I have a feeling that because it's on my bowel, there's just a higher risk of doing it. And I think maybe they didn't want to do that. They just kind of wanted to get rid of the endometriosis. And then I feel like doctors don't like trying to battle two things at once. That's what I've heard. Really sorry if that's offended anyone, or that could be wrong. But to be honest with you, I would rather like make sure 100% that's something sorted, like take the endo away, try and get rid of that, and then whatever, yeah, now we're getting the fibroids sorted. So that's kind of the update and where I'm at. I've had the coil out now for, I think, like four months, and do not be scared to get your coil removed. There's always going to be horror stories with whatever you have and whatever you do, and sometimes it's unfortunate that with my coil, he went up there and he couldn't find the string, which basically means if he could have found it, it literally would have been a bam, done, like pain free, we would have been sweet. But he basically had to open up my cervix, and like, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it was very painful. It was very painful. Alex had to come around. I was holding his hand. I was like, oh my God, this is like fucking childbirth. It was very, very painful, I have to say. And also I do think it's really important like that Alex came with me. Not that I like made him come, but I was just kind of, I get really nervous in those situations. When I had to like sign my name and stuff at the beginning, I literally forgot my name. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I literally was like, oh, I don't know how to spell my fucking name, because I'm like in such panic and I get really overwhelmed. It's like at school when I used to do, or like when I have to do tests and stuff, like everything just goes from my mind. I can know it, but it just goes. So, one, I like it when Alex does come with me just because I get super nervous, but also, us as women, we have to go through a lot. And I think it's very easy for guys to kind of be like, oh, you know, it's just like all women have to go through it and blah blah. By the way, I'm not saying that Alex says this, but I'm just generalizing. thing, which please don't tell me off for. It's really important for, I think, men to come because one, yeah, they have to see what we go through. We are the ones that have to take the contraception. We are the ones that have to deal with back and forth of, oh, is this right? This is making my skin bad. This is giving me terrible cramps. I'm having hair loss. I'm having this. Like, we are the ones that have to deal with that because, well, it's for protection, essentially, isn't it? It might be for your skin, obviously there's so many other reasons for it, but I do just think it's important for men to come, for example, the coil, and see, like, he was next to me and he saw it being removed, and it was, like, I'm pretty good with, I have a pretty good pain threshold, and it was painful, but it's one of those pains where, like, as soon as it's done, you're done and it's not remotely painful. But yeah, I would actually encourage, like, to take your partner with you because they need to see what we are doing, because then I think there's more understanding there for you as well and for the whole situation. So yeah, I would also encourage that. But anyway, couldn't find it, opened me up, got it out in the end, happy days. As soon as it was out, like, the pain, like, literally went, and I was just unfortunate that they couldn't find the string, but also it had been up there for almost 7 years, so I'm not bloody surprised, to be honest with you. So anyway, that was removed, and then I was like, skippity bop out the hospital, felt great, absolutely fine. And then obviously just kind of, he said that your hormones are just kind of like go back to how they were now, you should bleed pretty soon, blah blah blah. And then now I've had 2 periods, so that is about right, because I think I kind of just come off of like one which obviously hadn't bled. So yeah, I've had 2 periods since, and like clockwork, they've come on the 9th of the month, and then I just like bleed quite heavy on the 9th, and then the 10th it's kind of like a bit, and then it's just like spotting and fine. But the week before is no, just terrible, horrible. So I think I'm still just kind of like balancing out how I'm feeling, my hormones, my skin has been, it's not bad, but obviously, like, for me, my skin's like, okay, if you follow me on YouTube, you'll see that sometimes I have like the odd really aggressive spot and things like that, but like generally speaking, my skin is pretty good, and I just got like ridiculous, like here, like that, but I was also at the same time incredibly stressed because there's so many external things which are happening, which like I wouldn't say about because it's either like family or whatever. So also have had a lot of stress recently, which, you know, obviously probably does not help. But touch wood, now I basically just had my 2nd period. The week before, obviously I was super sick, and just like hormonal at the same time, which is never nice. And then yeah, period comes, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've been having like pretty low confidence and pretty bad image, I'd say like weeks, of how I feel in my body, which I think I'm just, like I said, like obviously my hormones are just going a little bit whatever. I'm not going to go on contraception again, I don't think, because at the moment you just got to kind of ride the wave, and just see how it feels. You can't expect something to go back to normal straight away. You've got to give it time. So that is what I am going to do. And I've also downloaded the app Flow, which I feel like is really helpful because I can just log how I feel, and I just feel like it's really great because also gives me, I feel like, a little bit more control of when it's coming and what to expect. Like the week before, like it's like logging a calendar, like if you know what's coming, you can be more in control of it. Like if you've got a super busy week the next week, but you look over it and you go, right, okay, right, manic, but this is how I'm gonna cope and this is what I'm gonna do. My friend actually has another one which is called Moody, so it just depends which one you like. So yeah, in conclusion, yeah, in terms of just how I'm feeling, I think in myself, yeah, like I said, I'm really not feeling good actually at the moment. Today I'm okay. Actually, today's one of the first days in quite a long time that I'm like, just like feeling okay, like acceptance, but I kind of just want to be, I don't know, I'm just not feeling like, I think probably as well because I've like, it's been like, obviously I've had Christmas, to just eat loads of shit, even if like I was exercising and walking and stuff, but just like eating out, you know what December's like, everyone feels it, dark mornings, just like not moving as much, and So obviously like Christmas, and then yeah, just being sick and yeah, like literally not moving for the past 15 days, 14 days, because I did my weight session yesterday. Well done me. Yeah, I just feel like not myself, and I think probably social media sometimes doesn't help, because yeah, I think there's sometimes a thing of like not feeling like good enough and whatever. But I know it's just a feeling, but you can't help sometimes like having super like intrusive thoughts, and I'm trying to manage them at the moment. I think everyone goes through it, and yeah, that's kind of like a little bit of an update. I will let you know when I am going to have my operation. Obviously afterwards I'm going to be able to like work out for a little bit and whatnot, and with the year I've got ahead of me, I'm trying to think when that's going to be a good time, because obviously with like lots of different events and exciting things coming up, like I want to be on my best and like give you guys the best, but I also need to kind of like, I think, put myself first a little bit more this year, because I just, yeah, I feel like for like the last 3 years I just really haven't, 3 years especially, haven't really like prioritized me. So I would kind of like to get it done as quick as possible, and then I can kind of just like get on with hopefully like that being sorted and feeling good again, because yeah, it's not pleasant, and yeah, that fibroid it is uncomfortable actually, I have to say. And it's also really shit, because I don't know if you guys can kind of maybe relate to this, because I know a lot of people do have pains during sex, and it can sometimes be like IBS, endometriosis, what I've got, something else, and it kind of like does, I guess, lower your libido a little bit as well, because you're kind of like, well, am I going to be in like loads of pain? Like also he's like, oh my god, are you going to be in pain? Is this going to be like, what's the what are we going to get? Is this going to be good? Are you going to be like running to the toilet because you need to be sick because you're in so much pain? Like it's just not the best for a relationship. But I just think, you know, if you're understanding of the situation in each other, and if you're doing everything you can to feel good, like to help yourself, yeah, obviously sometimes I definitely do think, like Alex, like, oh, probably thinks, I don't know, so stupid, but you're like, oh, he probably wants someone who like isn't in pain. But I know that's ridiculous, he's obviously never said that to me, never would. He's like so amazing, but yeah, obviously as a woman kind of you feel like I don't want to just be, I want to actually be able to like do it properly, and not just like, yeah, you know. Anyway, hopefully that's helped you guys. But like I said, like please do contact like your doctors or Endometriosis UK. But that's kind of my little update. I really appreciate you guys being so lovely and supporting me and asking questions, and hopefully I can help bring some kind of awareness and help, yeah, at least maybe one person who's watched this video who thinks, oh, actually, do you know what, I'm just going to run through some symptoms real quick, because I think that's actually super helpful. And when I first said I had it, loads of people were like, shit, tick, this is my symptoms. So bad skin, gaining weight, severe tiredness, depression, stabbing pains during sex, pains just like out and about when you're just walking down the road, pains when you go to the toilet, mood. I think those are probably like the top line. Oh, hair with PCOS. That's something that I actually didn't, well, I'm not really hairy. I've got super dark eyebrows and obviously like hair, but like, and like I'm always just been the same. I'm not like hairy person. Like Alex, when he first met me, was like, I really thought you'd have a snail's trail, like the little hair there, and I was like, oh. And he was like, but you don't. And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, interesting. He's like, I thought you would. And I was like, no. He's like, yeah, I thought you'd be a lot hairier than you are. I was like, cheers. But, you know, anyway, if you are hairy, it's great, because so many girls put hair on themselves, you know. All we have to do is just whip it off. So, we can't complain. But anyway, yeah, so those are I think the top line kind of symptoms. And yeah, if you are feeling any of those, then please obviously do go and speak to someone. And then yeah, I think the Marina coil for me was really, really great. You can also get these, again, please speak to someone else, but a girl I know takes these like tablets, which it's not contraception, but it's more just for endometriosis. So yeah, and if you are going through it, I'm so sorry that you are having to go through something so awful, but there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and like, promise you, if you go and seek the right help and everything, like, I really do hope that it gets better, but obviously everyone's experience is much different. And anyway, I am gonna love and leave you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please comment down below any questions that you feel like I didn't answer or you're unsure of. Please just send me a message in the comments, let me know. And also, if like any of you guys, you know, have this or are about to have the operation, anything like that, you know, it might be quite nice to, you know, speak to like-minded people in the comment section, I don't know. And if you are about to have the operation, like, do not worry, I promise, like, it's absolutely fine. Your stomach will be a bit swollen afterwards, and then, like, you know, just don't go too crazy with the exercise. I just started like walking, that was kind of like my thing, and then just, yeah, taking care of what you're eating and things like that. But the scars as well, I mean, I'm actually super bloated now. That is actually something I am suffering, well, I wouldn't say suffering, but I'm struggling with at the moment. Is my bloat is like, is pretty bad. I'm taking seed, which is the probiotics, in the morning. I stopped taking them actually, so I'm going to start taking them again. But yeah, that's something that I actually have noticed a lot more. But again, I'm just come off my period because I started on the 9th, so I still think I'm probably just a little bit like bleh. But yeah, my scar, where is it? Oh, can you see? It's like there, and then in my belly button, and then like low down, and you literally cannot see the low down one or whatsoever. So yeah, I'm obviously very lucky. I know some women have different experiences, but some things are out of our control. So please try not to worry about it. And yeah, I think we're all very strong as women. We go through a lot, and yeah, you're incredible. And my endo warriors, you have got this. And any tips or anything like that as well, again, please just share in the comments, because it can be super helpful. But obviously, like I said, like, it is trial and error for you. We are all different, so it's just finding out like what works for you. But it is very worthwhile testing, trialing a few things, for sure. Anyway, team, I love you. Thank you for watching. And it's such a bloody lovely day. Do you know what I did before this video? So I was filming and doing some bits, and I moved this plant, which is right there, and it's a little cactus. Can you see him? There. It's a cactus, and I don't know how I did it, because I swear I moved it by the pot. Anyway, I looked, and in my thumb, I literally had all the little buggers there, and then I touched other things, so I just had all these splinters all over me, and that's very annoying, to be honest with you. I'm very clumsy, so such is life. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you.